first one who had raised your hand, so give me a second. I'm going to allow you to talk. Hi, Phil. Can you hear us?
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Are you ready for your non-agenda item?
Yeah, before we start, and then I saw there's a couple agenda items. I'm guessing, will we have a chance to speak on those, or is it just general non-agenda item related?
Yeah, so this period is only for folks to bring up things that have not been agendized. We're going to have a comment period for each of the items themselves.
Okay, yeah. In that case, I believe you said 1 minute just for the non-agenda items, and then I'll wait my turn for each of the items. If that's all right.
Sounds good. I'll let you start now.
Okay, appreciate it. So good evening, everybody. I just wanted to bring about a couple of points. Susanna Furios is, in fact, a high-ranking Scientologist. She did, in fact, have her organization be in bad standing. I don't believe she should have any sort of say either on the EH bid or, frankly, any other interactions, nor should her decision or voice be taken into any consideration on any agenda items, nor any other non-agenda items according to any neighborhood councils. I'm actually waiting right now on a big lawsuit against Janet Whelan for LAPD not releasing CPRA records because she's a sworn-in member on a CPAB, and they're trying to hide the clear collusion she has with LAPD and Scientology. You guys have a chance to make it right here, and I just want to make my voice heard. So again, Susanna Furios and Janet Whelan, Scientology, bad. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your comments. I'm going to move you back to mute for now. And then just for anyone else in the meeting, you just raise your hand once we reach the agenda item and we ask for comment, and then you will be allowed to speak on that item. Thanks, Phil. Okay. I'm going to move to Audit LA. Hello, Audit LA.
Good evening. Hi. I've sent a couple of emails. I hope you received it and gone through it. If not, I ask that you would. I sent you both a CASP report talking about how just the different violations of Scientology. But since that report, the very next day, the planters have been removed. So that issue is gone. But there's still an issue that doesn't seem like the city put the no parking signs there. And it does not seem like it's actually a no parking street because there's no red line. And so I believe they're looking into it in different places, but I just want to put that on there that the community needs parking. So something on your radar. And the other thing to put on your radar is that they are applying for a street vacation. And I sent another email stating why all of that is a bad idea. I wish I had more than 1 minute, but I don't. So it is in your email from today for the street vacation, why basically they should not get one. Just, and not just them, just anyone in that situation, why it violates the principles of the city on the rules of street vacations. And
hello, thank you.
Thank you.
Take time, but I do see your email, and thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Thank you.
Let's see. Okay, we are going now to Mona M.
This meeting is being recorded.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to the PLUM. I too would like to talk about L. Ron Hubbard Way and the street vacation that Scientology has applied for. Obviously, a street vacation would privatize that part of the road. That part of the road is very essential for several hospitals that are in that area, and then also for the neighborhood and for any street calming measures for areas around it. If they privatize that area, privatize that road, it would be detrimental to the community at whole. So I would ask that the PLUM committee write a letter to not support a street vacation. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank you so much. I will move you back. Appreciate it. Okay. I do think we have a couple of folks in the audience, so let's go to them first. And we do have kind of a packed schedule, so we look forward to staying in touch regardless. All right, let's see. Mona, I'm going to allow you to talk, and then you will get 1 minute for your questions and or comments.
This meeting is being recorded.
Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Better Neighborhoods LA. I do have a question about ADA accessibility and with the short-term rentals, the short-term contracts. One, I would suggest nothing gets passed unless they follow FHA or ADAG guidelines. So that way, 4 or more units do have to have at least one accessible rental. It's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And 2, that accessible units for like Airbnbs and all of that are highly, highly needed. So having maybe a way for them to become either on the platform permitted as an accessible unit rather than just throwing it out there and throwing the baby out with the bathwater, because those are such needed units for short-term rentals. But one, as I said, there has to be a way that the ADAG is being followed along with those short-term rentals.
Thank you, Mona. I think that that seemed like a comment, if I'm not mistaken, but it is definitely something that makes sense to me, and I think Better Neighbors can incorporate into their motion. I'm gonna, let's see, move to gonna move to Audit LA, who has their hand raised. Give me 1 second.
Yes, thank you. I have a concern because, this recently the state made a law where religious organizations can build housing by right at this point. And I guess my concern would be that it could turn into like a Jim and Tammy Faye Baker. I don't know if you're probably too young to remember that. But basically they had like an amusement park, whatever, and all this timeshare rentals, for their own people. And and that's what I'm concerned about with all for me, my concern is that the Church of Scientology would do it, but the Catholic Church could do it. Any church can do it because they can build by right housing. And that housing, I think the law is intended for the housing to be for the community. But will there be any protections to make sure that it can't become like hotel, short-term rentals, to create let's say an oasis or a community for their own people only? And I also do have another concern. I don't know if you can address on L. Ron Hubbard Way. Somebody did reach out to me. They're in the housing that they're being evicted because they're not Scientologists.
Yeah. Hi, Audit LA. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate it. I can answer that, I think, at least partly, which is I am also aware of the recent state legislation around streamlining housing for religious institutions. So it is an interesting point to bring up. But in terms of enforcement, I think the point would be that everyone, regardless of who the owner is, would be subject to I don't know what to call this. It's not a resident ordinance. The request that Better Neighbors is putting forward, regardless of whether they are a religious institution or not, anyone who is registered or not as a short-term rental lessor would be subject to the rules that we already have in place, and also would be, if anyone were to find that they were not complying with that, that there would be a private right of action for someone like yourself to pursue action against them. Oh my God, stuff. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to move to one other person. Yes. Okay. Looks like we have Phil. I'm going to allow Phil to talk. Okay, Phil.
Thank you. Just on the issue of enforcement, I have a major concern regarding not putting the onus on citizens to pursue private action via a lawsuit or otherwise. If you actually take a look at 5611 and 5612 of the LAMC, two codes I'm very, very well aware of at this point. One of the issues is whenever somebody either tries to vacate a street or unlawfully blockade the right public right of way, criminal charges are one of the things you can pursue. Nobody here can pursue criminal charges, and that's one of the strong suits that the city, and I actually agree with Coulter here. The LAPD gets a huge portion of the budget, and one of the arms that the city has is actually pursuing criminal charges in addition to daily fines for each of these charges. They're misdemeanors, but nonetheless, that's something that people cannot do, and I don't believe the onus should just be on the citizens to prosecute the folks that do not stay in good standing. Like I said, I agree with you, Coulter. I think the LAPD gets way too much of the city's budget. I have a major worry on when...
Point of order, it's 1 minute.
Yeah, we've exceeded the 1 minute, but thank you. Give me 1 second. Okay. Audit LA, I'm going to add you as a speaker and you'll get your 1 minute. Give me a second. Okay.
Thank you. Hi, I'm curious, is your boxing gym the one on Magnolia Boulevard? But that being said, I also want to ask, like, I kind of think that when it comes to, places with liquor licenses, places with, the dispensaries, that they should maybe, whether it's required or just part of the agreement, kind of have above and beyond security measures, because that benefits the community as well. I know, like, there's certain dispensaries I see that they do have security that works inside as well as outside. And they do a step up. They have their cameras, which will help, which benefits the police, I guess, if there is some kind of robbery in the street or whatever, and it helps. So are you willing, or are you one of those dispensaries that are kind of like above and beyond with providing more security for your establishment, which then protects the surrounding community? Thank you. And if not, why not? And if not, will you please?
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, first and foremost, we're required to. I think cannabis shops are the most regulated. I mean, even more so than ABC licenses. We're more regulated than I think there's any business in LA. So we're required, just to give you a background, we're required to have 90-day recording. So it's not like you just put a camera, a system in there and do what you want. We're required to have on the exterior and interior. So pretty much there has to be a camera looking at every 20 feet. So for regular business, we're a 1,400 square foot shop. So you would probably put, I don't know, maybe one DVR that can hold 12 cameras. I think I probably have like 30 cameras because I have to really just cover every nook and cranny. So like I was saying so from the security guard standpoint, we have someone who, and I want them watching everything just from our own safety as well as, security reasons. We don't want people obviously robbing us later on. So he kind of plays, and the security guard's job is two things. One is he has to check everyone who comes in for IDs. Nobody could come in the store who isn't over 21, or if they're over 18, they have to have a medical card. So they're first and foremost, they have to check everybody in. And then, so when there's somebody that's coming in the store, he'll be kind of going back and forth and just kind of checking the perimeter. But outside of that, like I said, we have overnight security. So I have somebody that I have multiple cameras with speakerphones, with sirens, with everything. So even if there's somebody that has nothing to do with our business that's in the front that's graffitiing, maybe on the street or that corner area has a lot of issues with trash. I mean, just me being there I've been leasing the space for a year before we started construction, just waiting for the land use review and all the things. It just seems like it's a dump site. So now that I have a dumpster there in the back, I asked the guys who are doing construction, hey, when you see it, can you go ahead and just throw it in the dumpster? But it seems like the second someone takes trash, the next day someone's dumping trash. So at least with us there, I feel like that's part of it too. It's not just about taking crime away. It's also like the beautification of the corner. There's not going to be, and maybe they'll stop from guys if they realize, hey, I came 2 times and the alarm went off, or there's somebody yelling at me on a speaker at 2 a.m. when I'm graffitiing on the corner. They might not do it in the one across the street. They might not do it at the liquor store or the Papusa El Salvadorian restaurant across the street. I think it just, that whole entire little area right there might feel something different, and they'll go to a different area because they don't want to deal with the pushback. So like going back to the trash, that, maybe they'll stop dumping because they'll realize I don't want to, every time I pull up, I see 10 cameras on me and a guy yelling at me. So there's a lot of that too that we just naturally bring. Part of it's regulation, part of it's that we like to run a clean, efficient business that's safe for us, and we also want to be part of the community. And I know the community we're going into. It wasn't like we just found this location and throwing against a wall and let's see if it works. Like I said, I've been looking for a location in Virgil Village for like 3 years or maybe more. So it's a place I want to be too, and then we want to know the people, or want to know our neighbors if they're willing to know us. And these type of questions, anybody has anything that they ask for us, is we're an open book, and it's open dialogue with us. And we're a mom and pop business. We're not a corporate business that has investors behind us. So we care a little bit more because it's our money on the line. It's our neck on the line.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm going to, I think Phil is also interested, so I'm going to add him now. Okay, Phil.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, actually, I'm familiar with your gym. A buddy of mine goes there. One thing I just wanted to ask is, I think you kind of covered it with the cameras. If some stuff happens, it seems like you're willing to help the community out, especially if an incident occurs and somebody needs the footage. One thing I want to make a comment for you. Just be careful. A couple blocks down, you actually have the Scientology La Poubelle restaurant. Those guys are real bozos. They tend to pick a lot of fights, and they're just generally not nice people overall. So that's the one thing, just keep an eye out.
Point of order, we have to stay on the topic. This is off topic.
This meeting is being recorded.
I appreciate it, though. Thank you. And we hope to meet everybody. I mean, once you guys come by, me and my partner Alex is on the call too. We're there. So, I mean, at some point we'd like to meet everybody and get to know everyone, and it kind of like on a first name basis. So we're always available.
So I'm going to let folks in the community speak first. Okay, I'm going to go in the order they're showing up. So I'm going to audit LA first, and you have your 1 minute now.
Thanks. I don't want to see any business that needs extra security across from me children. I think it was really rude how you spoke with Coulter. You're coming here asking for favors. And, you started out with like, oh, we don't know what we're going to do with the business. But you had to have known that was in the plans. And why you weren't forthcoming, leads me to think that, well, you knew it would be controversial and you wouldn't have their favor. But just the way you're talking to someone that you're asking for favor from shows me how you probably speak to the community and what kind of a neighbor you are there. And especially the way you said that Armenian school, it was, like, what are you saying? It just feels like I feel the tension, and it feels like you're not doing anything. What are you doing to resolve it? The issues and the problems with, that the people are having, because it sounds like you're the problem. And, there's another point I wanted to make, but I think this is a horrible idea. I think you should say no, not give it to them. And I think you need to do better, and go back and maybe do the housing thing.
Okay,
But
that's your 1 minute. Thank you for your comments. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I am going now to Phil. I'm giving you 1 minute, and here you go. There you go.
Listen, I actually agree with Coulter here. First of all, it is bad faith when you basically astroturf what you're going to do and then completely switch up a business under the guise and pretense that it was going to be just this one thing. Second of all, my issue, anytime I hear any sort of affordable housing projects, I think about the giant racket that is with Mayor Karen Bass. And I highly scrutinize whenever anybody brings that up. I want to know your contractor number. I want to know detailed bills of material for who you're working with. I want to know the outlook you have on projections of how many people you're planning to house, the costs, and I want to know specifically if you're even working with City Controller Kenneth Mejia on being public and forthcoming with that data. It's a giant issue right now, and anytime I hear affordable housing anywhere and any license, it's immediate red flags to me, and I want to know. As a constituent, I want to know. So
will we respond to this, by the way, as you go?
Thank you for your moment, or sorry, thank you for your minute.
I'm going to forget about the notes here.
Kaz, I think, sorry, give me a minute. I need to.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I think that was mostly related to a comment, and then I guess you can respond to the question that was phrased around of the housing portion. But to be honest, I didn't really hear.
Yeah, there will be separate hearings and motions and actions for that project. Maybe that was a little premature to even bring that up. I just wanted to bring that up just to address the point about the fact that, again, as a business owner and a developer, I don't know how many developers or people that actually build things are in this panel here. I am curious if there are people that actually build apartment buildings and, house people. And I understand that sounds like a very nasty word to the other individual. The affordable housing, exactly what this city needs, and what Mayor Karen Bass is doing.
Yes, I kind of want to stick to just factual responses here.
Yeah, I would just respond to the affordable housing comment that he made. That was that, and there will be separate. That will be a whole separate channel and conversation. So that's that.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.